Never Trump movement has never been more relevant and never been more needed than right now. As David French writes at nationalreview.com today. The movement isn't dead, Trumplicans. We're still here, and we are more vital than ever. You see, the demise of the Never Trump movement is greatly exaggerated. There is no doubt that its members failed in one of their aims, denying Trump the GOP nomination, but Never Trump was only partially about this election. At its core, the movement represents a statement about the role of character and ideas in American politics and culture. Every 4 years, Americans are tempted toward myopia. Each election is the most important election in our lifetimes! Each election is the election that will decide whether America stands or falls. If the wrong man or woman wins, then we will never recover. It's true in Barack Obama's case, once he was reelected. So the pressure builds to take sides. After all, with the fate of the nation at stake, who wants to be on the sidelines? But there is another view. One that holds both that politics is downstream from culture, which explains a great deal about politics these days, and that culture and politics aren't dictated by any single election, but rather by countless people, events, and ideas interacting in unpredictable ways. Elections are important, to be sure, but they aren't as important as ideas and character when it comes to shaping the destiny of a nation. Ideas matter. And supporting Trump means advancing ideas I find not just wrong, but destructive. I've defended the unborn my entire career. He praises Planned Parenthood. I believe that marriage is a sacred covenant between a husband and wife. He's a serial adulterer who, by the way, has transgenderized the public restrooms in Trump Tower. I believe America should lead the world in defense, not just of its territorial integrity, but also of civilization itself. Trump would retreat into glorified isolationism. And we know what happened the last time that happened, don't we? It's called World War II. Picture World War II with nuclear weapons from the start. I believe that free trade has made America more prosperous and enriched the lives of its citizens. Trump threatens to start ruinous economic conflicts. I believe that a core, which, if that's sounding familiar, that's also known, that the last time that happened, it was called the Great Depression, the Great Trade War. I believe that a core American value is that we can and must judge our citizens by the content of their character, not the color of their skin or their family's roots. Trump attacks a federal judge because of his parents' Mexican heritage. So Trump has profound differences, not just with me, but with Americans like me. And we're not willing to lift a single finger, not even in the voting booth, to advance his ideas, even if his opponent's ideas are also repugnant. Trump is as bad or worse than Hillary Clinton. Character matters, or at least it ought to, as well. And supporting Trump means elevating a man of low morals, which is the last thing our country needs. For heaven's sake, after 8 years of Bill Clinton and 8 years of Barack Obama, why do we want to continue that trend, and much less import it into what used to be our own party? I believe men should strive to be honest. Trump lies habitually. I believe men should treat women with respect. Trump mocks any woman who opposes him or challenges him. I believe in treating opponents fairly. Trump calls them names and spreads the most vile rumors about their families. Slander, that is. I believe that public officials should be intellectually curious, striving to know more about the world. Trump is aggressively ignorant, paying far more attention to poll numbers and press clippings than to the issues he'd confront in the Oval Office. So there is a profound gap between Trump's integrity and the integrity Americans need in their leaders and used to seek in their leaders. Yes, he faces a woman of low morals, but even if one seeks to choose the lesser of two evils, not a choice anyone should be forced to make, it's difficult to tell which of them is worse. And finally, there's the matter of credibility. It's hard enough to argue for conservative ideals, especially Christian conservative ideals, in a popular culture dominated by secular communists. The far left will never care and never come around, but we don't live to persuade the unpersuadables. Instead, we seek to win over those who haven't gone all in for the other side. We seek to find the open minds, presuming there are any left. To the open-minded, how credible is a message of life, individual liberty, free markets, and limited government coming from erstwhile conservatives who tossed those values overboard for the sake of a single election? How credible is a message that a great nation needs good citizens if friends and neighbors coming from the advocates of a known liar? How can anyone resist the continued decadence and degradation of the sexual revolution after casting his lot with a proud philanderer? The conservative movement is invested in the long game, our own long march through American cultural institutions. It is not worth throwing away years of influence for the sake of 4 months of intra-party peace. When Trump crashes and burns, and he will, Americans will not look to his partisans and defenders to rebuild from the wreckage. They'll seek other voices. For the sake of the nation, it's vital that those other voices are both conservative and untainted by alliance or association with the newly minted Republican nominee for president. In other words, none of the above. Never Trump. So yes, never Trump remains, and it is more important now than it has ever been, and will only get more important as time goes on.